Hmm. Guys, I think it's time that we have a real conversation here. So as you're jumping on, as you're watching this, I want you to think of people that need this help, that need this advice. The topic is, why do most startups and MLM companies fail? And then I'm going to be sharing, the 13 values when it comes to selecting the right company as well. So first off, if you're on here live, drop a 1. If you're on here 2, drop a 2. If you're here on the replay, drop in the city, country, wherever you're calling in from. I have friends around the world, so I always love to see where people are watching from. So a little bit more about myself. My name is Seville Ko, here from Kansas City, Missouri. And a little bit more about my background on the traditional side. Played football in college, coached in college. We spent over 12 years in the fitness industry and managed a studio, then graduated to starting my own business. And what makes me the most qualified is that I have my fair share of wins, but also my fair share of losses in life and in business. And I've bounced back stronger than ever every single time. But the truth is, the average person does not have what it takes to bounce back from what I've been through. So this has been on my heart. And today, one of my favorite meal prep services here in Kansas City, Muscle Maker Grill. I go to after my workout to go get some food from them. I bought a meal plan and they said, wow, we're closing today. I said, dang, okay, this is a national franchise, a great food, great prices. And today is their last day of closing and I got my refund. And it really just sparked me on this thought of, wow, business is really tough. They've been there for 2 years. And anyways, there's a lot of things going on right now. So anyways, I wanted to jump on here and just share with you, the average person. Let's have a business conversation, because most people are not business people. Most people work a job. And most people don't have enough experience, so you don't know what you don't know a lot of the time as well. So hey guys, hey Michael, hey Melissa, thanks for jumping on. So we're going to go ahead and begin, but be sure to tag and share this if you find some good value. If you're here on the team, drop any takeaways of some things that you're taking away. So anyways, as a fitness entrepreneur, my personal revenues and things like that, we got into the multiple 6-figure range when I was a solopreneur, $10, $15, $20,000 a month in revenue in the fitness space. When I became a business owner, it was a whole new ball game. And, what seemed would be invincible, because I had a very good book of business, just after a couple of years and some typical mistakes and, broken trust and things like that came, and guess what? It went. Rewind to just a couple of years ago, my wife and I, we had massive success in a startup MLM, disruptor, first to market, things like that. And we had massive success. We were multiple 6-figure earners in that company year number 1. Year number 2 turned into a nightmare. Typical startup challenges, broken promises, delays, lost trust in the marketplace. So we went from breaking records, and we were the darling poster child from, broke to multiple 6 figures to literally financial destitution. It was crazy. We upgraded our lifestyle. We, wanted to move close to the leadership. And, I'm the type of guy also that I fully own that, hey, I'm a full participant in my life. So, sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. But literally just 6 months ago, we moved back to Kansas City when everything had literally fallen apart. So we went from the poster child's multiple 6 figures to we're full-time as well. So my perspective is quite unique. 33 years old, we're new leaders in this space. We've only been building 2 years full-time in June, so less than 2 years full-time. And just 6 months ago, we were $27,000 in credit card debt just 6 months ago, and made a conscious decision to transition out of the typical MLM model into more of a consumer direct marketing model, but having massive success. In fact, more success even than we've ever had before. But this is not what that's about. So I'm going to go into it. I want to give you guys a mixture of some cold, hard business facts 101, but also give you my guidance system when it came to selecting, okay, where was I going to put my reputation on the line, my energy, my family's hopes and dreams, right? When I was going to put my everything into it one more time, what was some of the factors when it came to, where I wanted to go and things like that. So most people, have no idea. So you're wired to, go for the next trend and things like that, fancy words, right? So I want to give you guys some value, and we'll go ahead and begin. So here's some astonishing statistics, but if you're ready, drop some flames in the comment box and let's go ahead and go. But here's some business statistics for you. And this is according to Forbes. This is, you can go look up some of the best business experts in the world. You can Google this for sure. What's the rate of success in business? Did you know that 80% of small businesses fail within the first 2 years? I think it's 50% within the first year, okay? And this is traditional business. And by 10 years, it's actually 96%. 96% of all businesses, they fail. And the 4% that make it 10 years, doesn't mean that they're profitable. That just means that their doors are open, okay? Just like I said, a national franchise here that had great products, affordable, all that stuff like that, they open and they shut within 2 years' time. So literally, it is absolutely, the odds are against you in startup land. It's so true. For every Facebook and Uber, right, there's thousands and hundreds of thousands of ideas that flopped, right? So, when I came for me 6 months ago to take a look, if I was going to look into the home-based business arena, I had to have my list of things that was very important to me this time around. I knew, that we could go recruit, right? I built some skills along the way. So, but this time I really wanted something that was residual. And, it's a crazy time right now, what's going on in the space. It's interesting to watch. I'm definitely choosing not to stay silent on everything. I definitely look at myself a little different. I'm not your average leader that's been in network marketing and things like that. I tend to pull my information and my perspective from, the real business world as well. So my question is to you, this is the question that I asked so many people, that what if everything, and I got this from Pastor Stephen Furtick, but what if everything that you thought was true, what if it wasn't? Would you want to know? What if everything you thought was true about this particular area, we're talking about business, would you want to know if there was some different truths and things like that? So guys, let me give you guys some network marketing or MLM statistics. Did you know that literally there's only been 10 companies ever that have ever gotten to $1 billion a year and lasted longer than 10 years? Did you know that? There's only 10 of all time, right? And those companies are in the health and wellness space as well. Okay, so 9 out of 10 are in the health and wellness space. Okay, so I want to separate just for a moment the concepts of the vision and all this other thing, and everyone means well, but guys, this is just business for a second. Okay, so 80% of businesses fail in the first 2 years. 96% fail in 10 years. There's only been 10 companies ever that have gotten to $1 billion a year and lasted 10 years. So you really want to start to look at it. And, when you start to look at, you start from the top down, because everything rises and falls on leadership. Typically the average tenure of a CEO in network marketing is also about 3.5 years as well. That's the average tenure. And typically, if you really start to kind of peel back the layers, read the stories, they're pretty much either small family-run businesses or, disgruntled distributors said, you know what, I'm going to go out and do it myself. So I really compare that to, let's take a look at some of our favorite athletes of all time. It's just very rare. There's not one athlete, the superstars, right? There's not one athlete that has went from, some of the greatest of all time, right, on the court, the field, or whatever the craft was, and then gotten to ownership, and then has now run a successful franchise. Not even Michael Jordan, right? Not even Jordan himself. He's with the Bobcats, and they are absolute garbage right now. So being a distributor in the field versus being owners, just like the challenges of being a startup business owner in traditional business, are equally challenging. There's a great book, it's called The E-Myth, and I remember reading that, and it really talks about really you as the networker, or let's say the small business owner. I went from the trainer being the craftsman, right? That was my craft. And then I opened up a business, and then I had to not only be the craftsman, right, with training, but then I had to be the accountant, and then I had to be the manager, and then I had to be, the tax attorney. And then I had to have all these other roles here that I was, frankly, not qualified for. So I fully believe in the home-based business profession as, when you're talking about risk versus reward, it's the number one way for the average person to get into business ownership with the least amount of risk possible. I absolutely believe that. But guys, this is no different than anything else. So I want to give you some things that were on our list as we were looking out. This is only to those of you that really want to build a business. If you just want to be a customer, that's absolutely different. If you decide to, hey, go invest your money on a cool, fancy product and or service, that's up to you. I'm not really talking to you. I'm talking to those of you that really want, full-time or serious part-time income to become debt-free, or, really go out and live your dreams. That's really who my heart is into, And for us, I've been fortunate enough to not only have an insane amount of grit, risk tolerance, personal self-belief, to really bounce back from, like I said, from, all of our losses and things like that too. So let's go ahead and dive into it, because these were some things that were very important to me. But for me, there's a great quote, and it can't be about, for me, this is a personal opinion now, but for me, it can't just be about making money. It can't just be about making money only. If it's only about making money, then your tenure and your success will be very short term. Definitely not a lot of people are going to have success after that. There's a great, paradigm shift that I really started to adopt as I'm reflecting on my own journey, is just that it can't be about how much money you make, as important as how do you make your money. Okay? It can't be important about how much money you make versus, how do you make your money? Let's take, for example, let's say we both make $100,000 a year. You're a top salesman. You travel for whatever it is. Maybe you sell eyeglasses or whatever. You travel, you work 40 hours a week, but you're away from your family 3 out of 4 weeks. Let's say I make $100,000 working from home from my smartphone. But I get to have time. I get to wake up when I want. I don't have to worry about calling out for vacations 2 weeks a year. We both make the same type of income, 100,000. Which one is worth more? Which one has the higher value? Working from home or the traveling sales top professional? Which one, right? Or I'll go ahead and segue into some marketing as well, because towards the end of my last run in my startup company, as things were getting really bad, and this was kind of some of my ahas as it was time for things to change. In network marketing, if you find yourself having to become a salesman or a scientist, okay, you will not have duplication. If you have to be too much of a salesman or a scientist, you will not have duplication, because the average person is not good at sales. And the average person is definitely not sharp enough to become a scientist. You will get no duplication. Okay. When you're looking at these business models that you get a revenue share and you get to, get a percentage of all the team sales and bonuses and things like that, you have to look at it. Well, I encourage you to look at it from, can the average person do this? Can the average person, little to no experience, stay-at-home mom or dad or whatever, right? Can they do this? Now, for me, I'm quite unique. Master's degree, 3.9 GPA, magna cum laude, so I'm not your high school dropout story of successful entrepreneur. So I'm pretty sharp. I could literally go sell or promote anything that I want. Not from a cockiness standpoint, but really I have that ability. But when I was young in my journey, it was only 2 years ago, I didn't know any better. So just like most of you, so the marketing message was, okay, boom, first, disruptor, things like that. And I want you to, in 2019, guys, I'm going to be straight up with you, because I'm a ninja when it comes to marketing, attraction marketing. I've spent, tens of thousands of dollars learning from the best. I'm talking about Ty Lopez, Grant Cardone. I've been in a lot of different masterminds as well. So once again, not just network marketing land. In today's world, in 2019, 20 and beyond, if your message is disruptor, if your message is, oh, never been done, we're going to break record, like if that is your marketing message, if your message is, oh, okay, Rolex, Rolls Royce, Lamborghini, okay, if that is the message that's at the top of your leadership, I want you to run that way, okay? I want you to run that way. because that does not work anymore. I remember being at Ty Lopez's house this last summer. Ty Lopez had over 1 billion minutes viewed on YouTube, and he was the first of the Lamborghini videos. He shot the selfie with the Lamborghini, and he's like, oh, you know what's important more than these cars is the books, right? And he really had his initial success from the Lamborghini videos. And I remember Ty even telling us, like, guys, that doesn't work anymore. And he goes, you know, on Instagram, if you look up Ty Lopez, one of his #1 posts of all of last year was actually his post with his grandma. And so it's authenticity rules today, right? So I want you to think of the psychology of your prospects, your friends, your family, your network, right? That message no longer works. That message if it smells like spam, it probably is spam. If it doesn't sound or feel authentic, it's not, okay? So I want to be blunt with you as a marketing specialist and someone who stays very well up to date. If your marketing message is the Rolex, the Lambo, the flash, the private jet, the big checks, the money, all that stuff like that, I want you to run that way. Okay? True or false, by the way? Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe that lifestyle and stuff like that, does that work for you today? Are you impressed by that? Come on, let's get some active engagement here as well. So anyways, I like to teach people, by the way, how to fish, which is social media, how to attraction marketing, and also how to hunt, how to effectively communicate and have communication, right? So that way you can promote your product or your service, or better yet, your brand and your personal vision. So let me jump in right into, here's the 13 things that I had to have at the very top of my list. #1, now, if you value things more than just money, this list is going to be for you. If you only value money and you don't care and you just want to be interested in a money grab, this live is over for you. Good luck with that. I'm praying for you. That's about all I could do, okay? So here we go. So let's start from the top for those of you that have values as well. So #1, companies got to have an established track record, okay? I just told you the stats. This is traditional business and MLM. Most absolutely don't make it 2 years, let alone 5 years. 96% will not be here in 10 years. They will not be here. That's the facts, okay? So company track record for me, the company has to at least be, well, to be fair, I'm a full-timer, I'm professional, so I want residual income. That's at the very top of my list. So my personal standards is over 10 years. I really wanted like 20 years, but 10 years is a good mark. Minimum needs to be 5 years, okay? Minimum needs to be 5 years. Once again, in the domestic market of North America, USA. USA has the strictest government as well when it comes to FTC and just legal standards around home-based businesses. In fact, we're the only country in the world that has very strict regulations. It's pretty much the Wild Wild West all the way around the world as well. So established track record, okay? So #2, repeat these in the comment box as well. #2, company has to be financially sound. Okay, company has to be financially sound. What is the backing, right? Where are they getting the funds from? And if you're a startup, we're gonna go, produce 1 billion sales and pay it out. I mean, that means next to nothing. Okay, so companies have to be financially sound. So what does the corporate team look like? And for me, that couldn't just be one expert. No, it could not. I needed to have a corporate background from Inc. 500 backgrounds for sure, because guys, it's a partnership between corporate and the field. It's a partnership, right? Corporate ships the products, the services, and they take care of all the legal stuff and everything too, the back end, the office, the website, but they got to have the funding. They got to have the funding to go support the volume, right? When momentum happens, if your company goes into momentum, okay? So that happened for us. I'm speaking from experience personally. We were record breaking, 0 to 100 million here in the USA market, and the company was absolutely not ready to keep up with the production as we moved, hundreds of thousands of units as well. So companies got to be financially sound, got to be debt free as well, and Inc. 500 background. So #3, companies got to have strong management. Strong management. Now, I'm still in corporate, the team, okay? Not 1 or 2 or 3, a little team of the Fab Five. I'm talking about strong management. What does the corporate team look like? Once again, this is to be able to make decisions that's best for the long-term health of the company and for the field to be able to keep up as the volume and momentum grows and shifts and changes and things like that. So most MLM companies, like I said, are just run by their family-run businesses or disgruntled distributors, which, hey, I like the energy of. I love it. You know, I'm an entrepreneur myself. But strong management's got to be important. You can't have, 2 or 3 brains in the room. That can't happen. So unique consumable products. Unique consumable products. Now, I say consumable products because consumable is going to lead to residual. Once again, let's go to the facts. Forget your opinions. There's only been 10 companies that have ever made it to $1 billion a year. And most of those companies, even that stand today, they're not growing in the USA market. No, they are not. Okay? No, they are not. Amway, Herbalife, no, they are not. Some of the big ones, okay, the Godfather, they're not growing in the domestic market here in the USA, here in North America. So unique consumable products that really people, that they need versus want. They need versus want. If you are sitting here looking for the next trend only, and that's how you're wired. I was like that. I mean, come on, we made money being a disruptor and things like that. But if you're only wired to look for trends, guess what? If you're on the next trend that must go up, guess what? It must come down. That's just business 101, right? If you're only on trends, like, come on, I come from fitness. I've seen this every 2-3 years, right? Every 2-3 years, there's a new hot franchise, right? It used to be Planet Fitness. Now it's Orange Theory. Okay. It used to be fasting. Now it's keto. If you're not keto, you're dying right now, right? This is just trends change. Times change. That's the only thing that's guaranteed. So I would caution you on only being wired for trends. Okay. And also, just because there's a global trend going on in the real business world does not mean it's going to work in network marketing as well. Just because, let me repeat that, just because there are trends that are going to happen in the traditional business world does not mean that it's going to work in network marketing. Why? Because network marketing, you have a volunteer army. Network marketing, you have people. We're in the people business, right? You have relationship selling going on. So when there's trust, right, and products and services are delivered on time, things are good. But it's very easy to lose trust as well. And now in today's world, because of the internet and the smartphone era, when you lose trust, you get pencil whipped online. That bad review, negative review is going to go up on your company's website so bad, you got one shot, right? So MLM, it's not as forgiving as it may be in the traditional world. So I want to be upfront with you that come on guys, if we're talking about trends and things like that, that means that, real estate and oil, those would be like the number 1 companies in network marketing if we're just talking about global trends. So calm down with all that, okay? So that does not mean it's going to work, okay? Once again, this is a great example. I was in a technology company and we came out with a smart band and it was awesome and what it was going to be. But when we launched, guess what was not around? And guess what launched 6 months later? Apple Watch. Boom. Crushed it, right? Absolutely crushed it. Let alone government rules and changes, CBD, things like that, crypto. It's just a lot of things out there that just because there are real trends happening in the business world does not mean it's going to work in MLM. Once again, let's go to the facts, okay? If you're getting some value here, hit that share button. Hit that share button here, okay? And be sure to drop any takeaways as you're learning, because most of you could not pay for the experience. You couldn't bounce back from the experience that we have and everything too. So competitively priced, okay? This one's huge. Typically, the biggest problem in MLM right now is that the products are typically higher. Let's be real, they're higher. I mean, my first company that I was in, and I helped, had thousands of clients out that got results. But looking back, it was like almost $5 a serving for a thing of protein, right? And the marketing message was grass-fed cows from New Zealand. And I was like hell-bent, sold on that so much. And that was unique at the time. That was a marketing message that hadn't been heard. And now if you were to go to Sprouts or you're to go to your actual market, you could see grass-fed whey everywhere. You could see it everywhere, right? So now it's saturated, super saturated. And I don't believe in saturation because there's actually over 7-8 billion people in the world. But right now, what's real is a thing called concept saturation. There's a thing called concept saturation, which is super real. okay, as well. So low monthly requirements, low buy-in. That's got to be there for sure. The biggest, crazy thing I've seen buy-ins of MLM companies, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, some $50,000, package ranges and things like that, and just literally families putting up their life savings or a whole month or two of income to get started, because they've got to get started the proper way. So that really bothers me for sure. So you need to have something that's affordable, okay? Something that's affordable for the everyday and average person, because truthfully, just so many people get hurt when these companies fail, right? Or the products don't deliver and there's challenges and things like that too. So I remember, just a few months, 6 months ago when we left and we found out, hey, things aren't going to be turning around. We helped thousands of people. We helped actually probably hundreds that were left. We had thousands, but we helped hundreds of people literally go get refunds immediately from their credit cards and things like that. So just a lot of people get hurt from overpriced products and high packages. If you got to buy the $1,000 to $2,500 package, right? It's almost can predict almost all the buy-ins. And that's how you make the most money. I mean, those messages right now, those really bother me as well. Okay. So my computer died, so I actually forgot my list. I had it all written down here. Rachel's on here. So anyways, affordable prices, low monthly required, low attrition. Okay, because this for me was like very top of the list. Low attrition, high retention. Now, here's the facts, guys. Typically in MLM, it's going to be between 8 and 15% retention. It's going to be pretty standard across the board, 8 to 15% at most. If you're at 15, 20%, you're probably a top earner. You're either 6, multiple 6, or let alone 7 figures if you're above that. But the average person, even if you do all this work, all this recruiting and all these things like that, most people are just going to quit in 30, 60, 90 days from now, okay? Here's the reality, okay? Here's the reality is that, okay, let's say we go join magic juice company or serum or whatever that, turns back clock, right? You get 50 years younger on the spot. What happens in 90 days? It's called the 80-20 rule. 20% of the people drive 80% of the results. And in 90 days, it's really more like 90-10. 10% of the people drive 90% of the results. And in 90 days, let's say we put in 50 people each, right? We got excited. Me and let's say Melissa, she's on here, and Mark, we put in 50 people each. What happens in 90 days? 40 of my people quit, 40 of your people quit, 40 of their people quit. If we're in a binary like most of them are, maybe, we made the most money, they made the second, they made the third, right? And what happens in 90 days? We got to go build all over again, right? So everything just literally falling apart because there's no attrition, because people had to buy products that they didn't really want. They just wanted the opportunity. And we are in the people business. Most people get unmotivated, not only in business, but in fitness as well. And in 90 days, 40 out of your 50, they quit. 40 out of your 50, they quit. Absolutely. So I want you to really pay attention to that. Start asking these questions. And the truth is, most companies couldn't tell you. They don't track this. They don't want to make it public because they don't want to tell you the truth. And if these are startups, the reality is they don't know. The reality is they don't know because it's just the beginning, right? So there's no proper ratios and data to actually pull from as well. So high retention had to be there. The vehicle that we've chose, literally it's astonishing, 96% retention rate and everything too. And I'm the guy who asked why. So what are the systems? What are the things in place that cause that retention rate? I want to understand the psychology of that. So in perspective, like, the company that we market with, working from home, we actually pay our customers to get trained on the product line. They're watching 2 to 3 minute videos, getting $100 in free products, right? To get trained on what products they should actually buy, which I thought is super genius because I didn't want to become a scientist again if I'm getting back in the health and wellness space, right? I don't want to have to do all the product education and things like that too. So that's pretty big as we're going on there. So high retention, because if you're going to go out and build it, you need to have something that's truly built on bricks versus sand. Oh, my computer got back up here. There we go. Okay, so here we go. Low personal production requirement. Low personal production requirement. There's no, crazy monthly $200 a month plus buy-in to stay active, things that you don't want. Again, low attrition, that's got to be important. And no breakaways in the compensation plan. And what does that mean? That just means that you are punished, right? You are punished for being a producer, because the compensation plan really does drive all the behavior. And guys, if you're in a binary, I want to be real with you here. The biggest question is, where will I be placed? Will I get spillover and help over volume and things like that? Binaries, very tough to be truly, let me put it like this. You either have to be at the top or you're screwed. I mean, that's the marketing message. If the marketing message is, hey, get in first or else you're going to miss it, that means if you get in last, you lose. In all the companies I've been in, I've received no spillover as well. No spillover in any. I've been in 2 binaries. And if you're on an island and things like that, then you mathematically have no chance of actually making the type of income that you get so inspired by the big leaders and everything too. So if you're in a binary, that absolutely does build speed, big check stories, but it's absolutely not balanced at all. So just to be straight up with you there, and timing and positioning is everything, and things like that. So I want you to be aware of those as well, because that absolutely is not fair. It's just not fair for everybody. So I wanted to make sure I found a compensation model that was fair for my leaders. I knew we could go make money wherever that we went. So timing, timing is definitely important. Timing in the company is absolutely important. That's business 101. So, is the company in momentum? What is the company's reputation? Is, what's on the horizon? What's going on recently? What's going on in the last 12 to 36 months? Notice I said what's going on in the last 12 to 36 months as well, with timing with the company. Is the company in momentum? Now, straight up, let me give you this. Just because the company's in momentum does not mean that you will be in momentum as well, okay? Just because the company's in momentum doesn't mean that you will be in momentum. That's absolutely not true as well. And one of the last things is no risk, okay? I need to have a policy that my customers, they can get 100% refunds. So right now, we actually have a 90-day, 100% money back guarantee, and customer service has to be on point. Customer service matters. I didn't know that a couple of years ago, but customer service, our customer service team, it's like they work directly from Disneyland. So they have to have customer service. That's got to be top notch. Do they answer on the first ring, right? Are they pleasant, right? Do they find solutions? Do you have a business development team as well? Or do you have to be the end all omega? Rachel and I in our startup, we had to be the customer service. We had to be troubleshooting. I mean, it was crazy, the things that we did. So much stress and everything also. So the last part, guys, is, what's more important than timing in the company is actually timing with the leader. Timing with the leader. So I'll tell you the story. My partner has been in one company for 22 years and over $21.5 million in commissions. He doesn't value recognition. Most people would not know his name. But literally one of the top 10 in the world, literally for the last 20 years and everything too. So he called me and he treated me with respect. So I called him when things changed for me. And I'm a red, alpha red male, but also green detail guy. And when he was telling me the stats and the facts and the figures and all that stuff, it made sense. You know what I asked him? He's made 21 million and I was broke and we're 27,000 in the hole. He didn't know that the house was burning down. We had to go find something. But my partner, Jeff, said, I said, what's your goals? I said, what are your goals? And he goes, well, there's one top leadership position that just came up. No one's done it yet in North America. Someone did it in China. It's $1 million cash bonus. And I'm, one more leader away. I immediately, that's why I said yes. Because although I had tons of stress in my life, there was no pre-launch and things like that, with our situation, I knew the power of finding timing with the leader. I mean, imagine this, the number one income earner that's actually not sitting on the castle top and just collecting the residuals, made over 21 million and just kind of hanging out, right? Which if he was, there would be nothing wrong with that as well. So you have to find the leader in their right season. You have to find the leader in their right season. Now, this is for all of you because most of you are not big leaders. So you have to find a leader that's in that season that they are willing to teach the average person, that they're willing to come down from the mountaintop, teach the average person the skill set that it takes to prospect, recruit, all the little facets of the business. I knew that my partner, it was his time, right? He was very close to his big goal. And I knew this leadership principle: if you serve the big team, you never have to worry about your team getting served. If you serve the big team, you never have to worry about your team getting served, because business is an absolute team sport, guys. So, it's not wrong, once again, but the reality is, just to give you a little truth, is that most top leaders, they just don't have the patience anymore to work with the average person and kind of teach the elementary fundamentals and things like that, right? I mean, they just don't. And that's not a bad thing, but you got to ask the right questions, right? What are your goals? Okay, what are your goals? And what kind of systems do you have in play? And, do you have time to work with me? Now, here's a little secret, because time is the most valuable asset to the mentor. Now, I want to give you this. And how do you qualify for time? Because this should be your biggest goal, is to qualify for the relationship and the time, and to earn that relationship with the mentor. This should be your ultimate goal. If you earn time with the mentors, you will go to the next level. Time, I learned this from John Maxwell himself. Time is my biggest asset, as he said. And how do I qualify people for my time? Number one is your character, and number two is through productivity. Number one is through character. Number two is through productivity. Now that right there is super profound, because this is business, right? So if you're a good person, there's a lot of good people out there. And just because you're a good person doesn't mean you're going to win. I knew that same thing for me and Rachel. I knew it was productivity. Okay, so we're going to go out, do the work, and I'm going to force the mentor to work with my team only. We're going to put up so much production that I'm going to force him to be down in the trenches with my team. And that right there has been our big secret to success, is because I knew it was character and production, and finding the right leader that was willing to teach an average person like myself just a couple of years ago, and to really come down from the castle top and even help, at the phase that we're in right now. So with that, guys, hope you guys got some value there. Definitely tag somebody who needs this. Always looking forward to comments and maybe your biggest takeaway as well. But, it's a crazy time right now with the internet and social media. And I'll continue to keep educating and just leading by example as, representing the new wave of top millennial leaders in this profession around the world. So thank you, guys. Love to hear your takeaways. Drop some flames in the comment box. Talk to you guys soon. Goodbye.